What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we are going to do a Detroit Lions deep dive. I've been labeling these 2023. It's 2022 to 2023 for those of you who do not know. If you guys are new, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to all the fun YouTube jazz. Of course, if you guys are also looking at other social media platforms, including now TikTok, feel free to go over there and check out exclusive content. I have top 500 performing rookies, top 5 rookies in the preseason, as well as top 5 teams, which is based off of this series. So it can get you quickly caught up on the top 5 teams at the moment. But without further ado, let's kick right into the video by looking at the rookie class. So started off with two big hits. You got Aidan Hutchinson as well as Jameson Williams. And I raised this draft grade up quite a bit after night one because I realized that if you are able to acquire a number one wide receiver, and given the fact that you robbed the Vikings, that it was a really good trade. Again, like I think that Jameson Williams is a good piece in the long run. I had a second round grade on him. I thought he was very scheme specific, but if you use him properly, then hey, spend a top 10, top 12 pick on him, and he might end up panning out for you. Aidan Hutchinson's a baller. He was probably, I think he was number 3 in the draft to me, right behind Sauce and Evan Neal. You got Josh Pascal, who I thought would be a great addition on a front where he can move inside and out, and I'm pretty sure that he could probably do that with this squad. Kirby Joseph has been underperforming a lot this season. I actually have it written over here. He has a 39.3 PFF grade. He needs time to develop. He started popping off in the Senior Bowl, so again, it's not like he needs to make a day one impact. So give him time. I think he'll be able to come into his own. James Mitchell, solid tight end as well. Malcolm Rodriguez, I wasn't that big of a fan of him. And then Chase Lucas is a solid DB to step in. Again, a really solid draft overall. Nothing I could really complain about. You got some really good pieces setting you guys up for the future. Let's kick right into the roster. Again, we use spottrack.com because they're great at laying out analytics, except for when you have to look at it in a very football schematic way. Of course, they start off by pretty much organizing it by alphabetical order rather than, by the logical positional groups by like quarterback, running back, tight end, receiver, yada, yada. But looking at the quarterbacks, you got Jared Goff here. Obviously, he led the Rams to the Super Bowl. Whether that's Todd Gurley's doing or not, he still brought him there. And, he's a good quarterback. He's nothing spectacular by any stretch of the imagination, but you see his contract, it's not great. It's not bad. And he's pretty young. So I don't think the necessity is there for a quarterback. I really don't. I think Jared Goff could continue to find his place, and, he's a number one pick for a reason. I don't think all hope is lost. I really don't. When we go to the records, you'll see that I haven't been showing very much love, but I want to, and I really want to look at this team. I think they're very well driven, and it's one of these teams where I feel with like maybe one or two more drafts, they could be that worst to first type of deal. Again, Aaron Rodgers probably going to be going as well. Kirk Cousins isn't getting any younger. Same thing with Adam Thielen, and then the Bears are just crap. It sucks because I was raised a Steelers and Bears fan. Don't ask about it. It's just the way it is. That's just pure facts. But I think that this team does have what it takes to get to the top. And I think Jared Goff, if he finds his place, you guys are set to be able to make a big jump. DeAndre Swift, who's my number one running back in the draft that he was drafted. He's a baller. I think he's really damn good. And I think he's going to continue to progress and just continue to kick ass. Actually, I forgot to talk about the depth here. Jamal Williams, I love him. Started crying in like a team huddle, which again, whenever you get to elicit emotion like that out of your players, it shows how good the coach is because the players are buying in. Jamar Jefferson, really good. Was he a UDFA? No, he was a 7th round pick. Really good player. He just, I think, tested out very poorly. Justin Jackson, another really good player to have in the ranks there. So you have a nice deep running back core. Wide receiver wise, you got Jameson Williams. I don't know if he's going to be there for part of the year. You guys can correct me on that. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference, to be honest, because you do have some good weapons that I think that given Jameson's kind of rawness overall, he's only had 1 year of legitimate production over there at Bama. That, again, look at his age. He doesn't need to have 50 years of production. I think that his impact's going to be very minimal at the most. DJ Chark, great deal for a guy who could be a true number one. I think that he's going to have a very big year. You got Josh Reynolds in there, another good player. You have a good squad. Khalif Raymond's a good gadget guy. Amon-Ra St. Brown's a great slot. I really like that pick when you guys got him. Quintez Cephas, even good as a depth player. Devin Funchess, these guys are actually pretty good. That's the thing. I don't know enough about Pimpleton or Alexander to make a legit comment, but you have a good enough wide receiver core for sure. Tight end wise, you have a top end option in TJ Hawkinson. We kind of forget about him because he's not one of the top two dudes, but he's still good. Again, he was a top 10 pick and he's been very, very consistent. James Mitchell, again, really solid. I would say there's a big gap at tight end too. So, like, knock on wood, no injuries happen. But if something were to, that's a very big asset you're losing. And you don't really have anybody but a 5th round rookie to step in and be able to replace him. Not a huge fan of that. Tackle wise, I like how the depth tackles are here because we know Penei Sewell, he was my number one player in last year's draft. And well, not technically the year before, like last year is the 2021 draft. Okay. Get your head on straight. Penei Sewell was my number one player in that draft. And I think he's been panning out to be probably one of the best players in the draft, especially at the offensive line position. He and Rashawn Slater were duking it out as the best guy. He's a beast. He's 21 years old. He has left and right tackle versatility. I think he's going to be an absolute beast. And we'll look at left tackle here, Taylor Decker. Arguably one of the best, if not the best tackle duo in the NFL, just consistently, and especially given age. So big fan of that right there. Besides that, though, I'm not a fan of the depth. Abina Eze, not a fan of him personally, but I'm just really not very comfortable when I see my only backup tackles, apart from Abina, who is a UDFA, as guys who are on 1 years. Like, I really do want like one. Okay, my bad. That's on me. Still a 1 year deal. I feel a lot more comfortable with Kendall Lamb as a backup. I would still say I want one more who can actually step up and play if need be. So minor concern, but you got Jonah Jackson here at guard, Tommy Kramer. I'm tripping up. Where are all the boys at? I'm tripping. You got Frank Ragnow, who's a beast. I thought Vaitai was on the squad. I must be missing him. But you have a pretty damn good squad. Wow, he's right in front of my eyes the whole time. I was like looking for Hal Vaitai, and then you get the whole damn name. It's in the middle of school week, guys. You guys know the drill. But Hal Vaitai is a beast. I think that he's pretty. I mean, obviously he's not worth the contract you gave him, but taking that out, I think he's really good. Jonah Jackson, my opinion, is not too shabby either. Guard is a position you could probably upgrade, but not bad. Not bad at all. And again, I already talked about Ragnow. He's a beast. But let's build from the defense and line out. Starting off with Brockers here. A very good player. Very good. I do like that. Didn't he like shit on Jared Goff when he actually got traded away? Or I don't know if Brockers got traded away or he did, but he was like kind of crapping on the Rams, and then all of a sudden Goff's at the same place. Just kind of funny. I remember something like that happening. Levi O and Ali McNeil, both from the year before as well. I wasn't a big fan of them. I think I gave their draft a C+ that year because I really thought they missed out on having to draft 2 interior defensive linemen. Just didn't really make sense because it was their 2 mid-round picks. Demetrius Taylor, not bad. But, I mean, you have depth. You have a top-end starter, and then you have 2 guys of depth. I think that's really good. I like that. Defensive end-wise, you got Romeo Aquara, Aidan Hutchinson in here, Josh Pascal. You've got Isaiah Buggs in here. Isaiah Buggs is good. Austin Bryant as well. You have Charles Harris. I mean, these guys are pretty damn solid. This is probably my favorite part of the core because you have a really 2 top-end options right here with a 3rd guy who's really damn good and then better depth beneath. Big fan of that. Let's look at the linebackers here. It's kind of been a little bit of an issue. We'll look at the outside linebackers. James Houston. I'm not 100% sure who he is off the top of my head. I think that he was the guy who was just drafted this past year, given his contract. Alex Anzalone, pretty solid. He's just a consistent dude. Again, contract is pretty representative of that. Linebacker-wise, You brought your first round pick back. I don't know if he's exactly what you'd hope for in an inside linebacker. Again, in a division where running backs are very powerful, you look at Aaron Jones, you look at Dalvin Cook. I think linebacker, like I talked about it this way. So I don't think linebacker's a very high value position, but I think there's a threshold that you have to get above to be able to say, I don't really need a better linebacking core. So I think you just need to get a good enough linebacking core. You need to get a good one. The Vikings, they have a good one. They got Hicks as well as Kendricks. Like those two guys are a pretty damn good squad. You pretty much essentially have tomato cans. I like Julian Aquara. Alex Anzalone is, you could barely say good enough. And Jared Davis, I mean, he's not even on the Jets anymore. So again, that's a big concern for me. I think that it's a reason you see a lot of linebackers being drafted in the first to the Lions in these mock drafts. You get one more. I like Derek Barnes too, but you get one more guy who can really make this team good enough in that range. You're on your way to success. But let's look at the safeties. And I think that you go Tracy Walker, Kirby Joseph here, Will Harris as well. These are some good players, not spectacular. Again, Kirby's suffering. Will Harris, obviously, there's a reason you need to replace him. But like you got Deshaun Elliott here. What the hell? Why is there a 1-day contract here? Am I tripping or am I seeing that right? I think Deshaun Elliott was given a 1-year contract. That might be a slip up for 1.1. Like you have dudes here, but I feel like safety's a group that you need. Like we talked about good enough at linebacker. I think you need to get a little bit better. I think you need to get good in that safety room. Right now, these guys are good enough. I want to see them get into that good tier because again, that's a lot more responsibility with getting toasted down the field. So I think that you're on your way. You're on your way. I think you're one safety away from being legit contenders or developing Kirby Joseph. Either way. Cornerback wise, you got Jeff Okudah. Obviously, he's been dealing with some stuff. It hasn't been the guy he wanted to draft at number 3 overall. Sucks, but it is the way it is. Ifeatu Melifonwu has been playing pretty solid. Chase Lucas drafted this year. High floor player. Amani Oruwariye, I thought he was an absolute steal. But again, I'm not seeing, unless Jeff Okudah comes out and is an actual lockdown corner, I'm not seeing a number 1 corner here. I don't know if I see a legit number 2. I see guys who could, at their best, play as a number 2, but I don't know if they can consistently do it. This is the big, like the corners and the linebackers. That's going to be where you're having your biggest issues. And then your safeties, again, I don't think they're good enough to cover up for that. I remember the Chiefs used to have kind of like tomato cans for corners, but they had Tyrann Mathieu there. I don't know if they had Eric Berry at the time, but they had like Juan Thornhill who were playing just at a super high level to the point where, well, even though the corners aren't good, I mean, the safeties are making sure everything's taken care of. So without further ado, let's jump into this. Again, we could reverse games. We can. We have the power to do that. And we very well might. So let's check it out. Eagles are just a dominant team, man. I believe in them more than anybody else. And I don't like the Eagles. I'm just going to be honest. I don't like the Eagles. And my best friend's an Eagles fan, so I hear enough of them as it is. They're just a really good team, and Jalen Hurts really does seem to have taken that next step. Washington, like this is a flippable game. I thoroughly believe this is a flippable game. Chase Young's out for the first month as well. I think I'm going to do it. I really don't have faith in Washington. I don't know. Did I actually flip the dynamics of the division? Let's see. No, technically they're about the same. So 7-10 for both teams. But I do think Detroit can squeeze a win out. You got the Vikings here. Again, they have a really good receiving core. I think that the Commanders do too. I just think that Carson Wentz isn't good enough. I don't know. It's logical to give that to Washington, but I'm going to say at home. Also, Carson's getting comfortable with his team after getting kicked out again. We'll see what happens there. But Vikings, I think they're a little too good. A little too good for this team. You got the Seahawks here. Have absolutely no faith in them. Again, you have a good enough run game. Kenny Walker is still going to be developing, getting comfortable with the league. Offensive line still developing against a much stronger defensive front. The weapons are great, but the quarterback is crap. So again, that's a big factor there. Patriots, I would consider flopping this game, but you are going to build Belichick's house, so I'm going to give that to them. Cowboys, again, I think that running game is going to be a big X factor. If Zeke gets that second level, it's going to be no bueno for your linebackers. And again, that's where, like, if you had a good enough guy, it might be able to stop him 5 out of 6 times. And it's okay to take that one hit every now and again because your safeties are good enough. But now it's going to be 3 out of every 6 times. And it's going to be a ground game. I really do believe it. But, I mean, this game should be the Dolphins. It should be. I'm calling an upset here. I don't know why. It's going to be one of those that's a big upset. The Packers are. This one might be flipped back. I'm going to give it to the Packers, though. They're going to have the division sweep, but that's going to be the way we roll. I'm giving the Bears 0 wins this year. I don't think I need to spoil anything. The Bears might be one of the worst teams we've ever seen in the NFL. The Lions, I think, didn't have a single win a couple years ago. The Bears are going to accomplish that again. New York Giants are actually not too bad of a team. Again, remember Brian Daboll's there. Apparently, Daniel Jones has passed for 77% during the season, preseason. That's good, but they were pretty lackluster in that first preseason week, and we've only seen them one more week. We'll see about that. We got the Bills. The Bills are. I don't know why I even they're too good. Jaguars are really powerful as well. I think people underrate them. Again, this one, it's in division at home. I like to take those teams. The Jets. Ooh. So Zach Wilson's going to be here. I haven't seen enough from Breece Hall, in my opinion, to actually give this to the Jets. I'm actually going to give it to they have such good weapons. I'm going to give it to the Lions. I really am. I don't know why, but I am. Oh, it's going to hurt. But I think a team that has Christian McCaffrey can get into your linebackers' heads. So I do believe that. You have Ike Ekwonu on the inside. He's going to be continuing to develop. So I like that. Lions are going to sweep that. And again, the Packers are going to sweep the division. So actually, you guys are at 7-10. Wow, that's actually a lot more than I expected. Hot damn. I think did I flip 2 games for you? I flipped the Jets as well as the Commanders. I'm still thinking I might reverse that Commanders one. It's not that big of a deal. Like, it really isn't. But I do think this Lions team is pretty good. And, you look at them, offensive line, pretty damn solid. Whoopsies. Offensive line, pretty damn solid. Weapons, pretty damn solid. Running back, solid. Quarterback, good enough. And then just the defense, you're lacking those linebackers and corners. So I do think that if you're going up against meh quarterbacks, that could be where you take advantage. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.